Good morning, New Brunswick, and welcome to the New Brunswick Today show for today, Wednesday, October the 12th. My name is Charlie Cradaville, and we've got a great show for you today. Our guest is one of our award-winning reporters here at New Brunswick Today, Mr. Dave Schatz. He'll be talking about the newest fast food franchise to open up here in the Hub City. It's a little chilly again this morning, just 51 degrees right now according to weather.com, but it is sunny once again, and the high today is predicted to be 68 degrees. The low tonight will be 50. Now, public schools are closed for the Jewish holiday today. It's the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur. We wish everyone a good day. A couple traffic advisories for you today. Somerset Street's going to be closed between James and Lewis Streets until 4 p.m. And Juliet Street's going to be closed between Livingston and Lee Avenues from 8 p.m. till 3 p.m. tonight. Now, to all of you watching this live broadcast on Facebook, please do us a favor and just go ahead and share it with your friends right now. We've got a great interview coming up. You can also comment on this video with your questions and feedback, as well as reach out to us on our Twitter account. That's at NBToday. And later today, this video is going to be on our YouTube channel, as well as the NewBrunswickToday.com website. Now, our top story today, New Brunswick stops using one of its drinking water sources after a transformer oil spill. Now, as demolition proceeds on the only major redevelopment project in Milltown, one of the county's tiniest little towns, it's already contaminated a drinking water source, according to the state government. On October the 4th, the state DEP, that's Department of Environmental Protection, they sent their Bureau of Emergency Response to a transformer oil spill at the old Michelin facility in Milltown. That's according to a statement that Bob Considine gave to Tap into New Brunswick. Now, it's not just any oil that's spilled. This is oil that may contain dangerous chemicals called PCBs, and it's gotten into the Weston's Mill pond. The DEP found 3 transformers lying on the ground, and those demolition contractor had left those there, and they were leaking this transformer oil. The quote from New Brunswick's water director is, "When it rains, it pours." That's Mark Lavenberg from the New Brunswick Water Utility. He's the man who gave the order to shut down the pumping station that's located 3 miles downstream from the Ford Avenue redevelopment site, which I think you're looking at now, where contamination was allowed to enter that waterway. The latest news comes on the heels of a water quality violation at the water utility, as well as a major water main break that required a boil water advisory for a large chunk of the city. Now, just a couple weeks removed from those issues, Lavenberg got word that there had been an oil spill. "It's like crazy," he said. "What happened there, to me, it's inexcusable for something like that to happen to any body of water, let alone one that's drinking water," Lavenberg told us. That was after Business Administrator Thomas Laughlin brought this issue up at the October 5th council meeting at the very end of the meeting. And he said that this is a small section of our secondary water source, and that the city has stopped pumping out of that water pump they have there at the Farrington Lake, and they're not going to resume pumping drinking water from there until they've been informed by DEP that there's no further issue with the source of the water. He said it's been boomed off, and there was a restoration company out there, and he was under the impression the cleanup was going to be completed by Friday, October 7th. But on the night of Thursday, October 6th, Middlesex County officials were unable or unwilling to speak on the spill, and they referred all the questions to DEP, who was, of course, not at their freeholder meeting. So it's still under investigation, is the quote from one county official. "I'm terribly sorry," when we pressed for answers at that meeting. Another surprise that came out of that freeholder meeting was the resignation of H. James Polos, a longtime freeholder who left that job to take the top job at the powerful Middlesex County Improvement Authority. We're going to have a full story on that on our website later. But something you should know is the New Brunswick, or the Middlesex County Democratic Organization, is going to be getting together to vote on who will replace Polos on the freeholder board for the remainder of his term. That is going to be on October the 18th. Friday, October 14th, is the deadline for interested candidates to submit their resume to the Democrat Party leadership, according to Tap into New Brunswick. Now I just want to take a moment to thank the folks at NewBrunswickPatch.com website for writing an article about Governor Christie's flippant response to one of my questions that I asked him. Now this was back in April, but we chose to share the video again this weekend in light of Christie and his pal Donald Trump being under fire for their lack of integrity. So Christie, in typical bully fashion on video, calls me a joker and then tells the other reporters they should beat me up. So this here is the actual video of me asking Christie about Donald Trump. I asked how much Trump is to blame for the situation in Atlantic City, and referencing something Christie had said earlier, I asked whether or not Donald was an honorable man. Here's what Christie had to say.
Mm-hmm. Where are you from?
I'm Charlie Pratt.
Okay. New face in the crowd.
You mentioned working with honorable people in Atlantic City, and I want to ask how much to blame do you think Donald Trump is for the situation that Atlantic City's in? Is he an honorable person?
He is an honorable person, and I don't believe he's ever been a office holder in Atlantic City. I don't remember Donald being mayor on the council, so he had no ability to make decisions, as far as I could tell, over how they spent their money, how much debt they went into, and whether there were pensions for lifeguards or not. So I don't think he's got a lot to do with it, but you know, it would not be a press conference on something serious without some joker asking me about Donald Trump. Yeah.
One more, please.
Yeah, we're not. Listen, it's you get one Trump question a press conference when I'm actually out here on substance, and the new guy back there, go beat him up. He's the one who took over with that. Absolutely ridiculous. Dustin, can't hear you. Don't know. Can't hear you. Sorry. Loss of hearing.
And welcome back. Now the great thing about the New Brunswick Today show is you can leave it on in the background and open up a new window in your browser and check out some of the great articles that we just published on the NewBrunswickToday.com website. One of those articles you can read is the latest report on the New Brunswick High School Zebras football team by Stephen Roca. That's about Friday, October 7th, when the 1-4 Zebras got off to a good start, but were ultimately outscored at home by the Middletown North Lions. Final score was 31-20. You can read the full recap on the website. The Zebras will be back in action at home in Memorial Stadium on this Friday, October 14th, at 7 p.m., where they'll face off with their Red Division opponents, the Edison High School football team. But that loss they suffered can't compare to the pain that Rutgers fans are feeling after suffering the school's worst loss in nearly 130 years. The football team struggled for the second week in a row, shut out in their home stadium by a laughably lopsided margin on Saturday. The loss was by a final score of 78-0. It was so bad that it raised questions about the school's decision to focus on big-time athletics at all, including their recent decision to join the Big Ten Athletic Conference. Since joining that conference, the school has been the subject of scandal after scandal, many of which led to big payouts to alleged victims and alleged perpetrators being paid millions to not work. As we previously reported, HBO's Real Sports had an in-depth report that focused on the massive financial losses incurred by that Rutgers athletics program, which they said cost taxpayers and tuition payers $312 million over a 12-year period. In other news on our New Brunswick Today website, Andrew Cangiano has the story on a new young athletes program at the city's public library. On Mondays this fall, the New Brunswick Free Public Library will be hosting a free young athletes program for kids ages 2 to 7, sponsored by the Special Olympics of New Jersey. Now, the weekly program, which begins October 17th, that's this coming Monday, helps children improve gross motor skills, as well as social and language skills, and develop skills for future participation in sports. Quote, "It is designed to prepare young athletes for future participation in Special Olympics sports," said Andrea Moore, the Young Athletes Director for Special Olympics of New Jersey. Now, Moore noted that the program is for all children, regardless of whether or not they have special needs, and that program focuses on different skills, including body awareness, strength, and balancing. It also aids in social, cognitive growth, and emotional well-being. That program is, again, on Monday, starting October 17th. It runs through December 5th from 4 p.m. to 4:45 p.m. in the Valenti Community Room downstairs at the public library, which is, of course, at 60 Livingston Avenue. Now, Amber Sabri has the story on a fundraiser driven by the success of raising $7,000 last year. The New Brunswick Fire Department will continue to dress in pink for the month of October to raise money and awareness for breast cancer. The NBFD will be selling custom pink t-shirts, and they'll be donating 100% of the proceeds to the Sisters Network of Central New Jersey, a nonprofit organization based in Somerset that offers support and advocates for African American women affected by breast cancer. The Sisters Network is a great local group that works tirelessly to assist and advocate for women dealing with this disease, and we're proud to support the excellent work that they do, said Fire Director Robert Rawls. The fire department's going to be selling those pink t-shirts for $20 each. Anyone interested in getting one can do so by contacting Cheryl Smith at 732-745-5254. Now, my special guest today is Dave Schatz, an award-winning business reporter. Not only does he write for us here at New Brunswick Today, he's also a freelance writer for Gannett's MyCentralJersey.com, the online home of the Home News Tribune and the Courier News. Now, Dave's been with us for several years, and it is a great pleasure to have him on the show for the first time today. Right now, if you check out the NewBrunswickToday.com website, you'll actually see Dave's latest story. This one is about the new Popeyes that just opened up on George Street. Dave always goes the extra mile for his stories, so he actually sat down with the managers at this new fast food restaurant in downtown New Brunswick. And while we bring him into the studio, we want to share with you that interview with the managers of the new Popeyes here in New Brunswick. Check it out.
When you order the food, you take a survey, you get free 2 pieces of chicken on your next visit.
Give us 5s, please.
And so you're letting customers know about that.
We're that interested in knowing about your feedback that we ask every guest, no matter how busy it is, how long the line is, we want to know what we can do to get better, to improve, so that you can have a great experience here at Popeyes.
And what are your goals for just really satisfying? You mentioned you really wanted to connect with the community, and
we want this to be the place to be. We want to be the best on the block. That's it. We want to be. We want people to come here and say this was the best experience that they ever had, and this is the best store.
Fast food chain, yes.
And of course, the Popeyes operating system, they have obviously have the tools there to be able to.
Absolutely, we're set up for success every day. We are. Our brand provides us with great support, and they're in our restaurants yearly, making sure that we're hitting the standards of Popeyes. So they're confident in us, and we're confident that the people love us.
And your company is Perique Network. Yes. They're a multi-unit franchise operator. Yes. I know that. They seem like they seem to be a good company in the sense of giving their employees a lot of leeway. Is it?
What do you mean by leeway?
Well, is it very? What's their management style?
I'll tell you what. It's an opportunity to grow in our company. As we both started from cashier, because we started very low into the operation, and we moved our way up, and they have a lot of growth opportunity. All of the managers here started from crew members, and they worked their way up.
Wow.
And if you go into a lot of our Popeyes in the area, it's all crew members that were turned into managers mostly. It's rarely people that come from outside. We do have that, but most of the time we love to develop within. And develop, take somebody by the hand and say, hey, look, there's an opportunity for you. There's growth for you. So you'll love it.
Yeah, so the Periques are very good at letting us grow and grow within the company.
Do you have a lot of contact with the owner?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
We know them personally.
They come in, they love to have that bond with us because they want us to know that they care, and they feel like if we know that they care, we do more and stuff like that. So they are very interactive with us.
And now they're brothers, the owner?
Yes.
And in New Jersey they have some over 13?
23.
Yeah, 23 restaurants.
This might make 24.
Yes.
Oh, 24 in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Right, right. They're one of the largest Popeyes owners, but not the. There's quite a few multi-unit
They're coming soon.
franchisees.
Right now, we're at over
24.
24 Popeyes, and by the end of next year, we should be at 140.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
We're growing, and they don't want to stop until they take over the world.
I know you have a great the Popeyes has a great CEO, Cheryl.
Black.
And did you see her article in the Harvard Business Review by any chance?
Yes, I did.
Excellent.
Yes, and I also have quite a few of her books, Dare to Serve. She's very big into servant leadership, so we learned a lot from her. Every year we go to conferences, and she does an amazing job with her speeches and the direction of leadership. She's taken this company from where it was into where it is now, which is a booming concept.
How long has she been the CEO?
She's been the CEO 8 years. Yeah.
8 years.
8 plus. Yeah. So we're very happy to have her.
And welcome back to the New Brunswick Today show. We're now joined by New Brunswick Today's very own Dave Schatz. Dave, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and thanks for your excellent work. We just on last week we had a congressman sitting in the same seat that you're in, and we said, how can we top that? How can we follow that up? And we found you.
Yeah,
so,
this is great. Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here.
Great, man. Well, tell us, how did you get involved in reporting and working with New Brunswick Today in the first place? We've had you on the team for a couple years now.
I like to educate myself, and this is now a new career path for me, and I take as many workshops as I can, webinars, businessjournalism.org, and New Brunswick Today has been a great opportunity to do a little bit of reporting in different areas.
Yeah, so you've really found your niche with business, and you've been covering businesses small to large, to the biggest business in New Brunswick, which is J&J, and you actually ended up winning an award for doing that. Tell folks what was the story that ended up winning the award?
The story was about the lobbying group, and we always see the truck driving around town that says No More Tears campaign.
Right, so this is a ballot question that was up for a vote last year, and J&J was heavily investing in that, and some folks wanted to make people aware of that, so they were driving a truck around New Brunswick to try to catch people's attention. And you ended up writing a great story about it, good enough to win an award. We actually have the award here. We were just keeping it warm for you here, but this is the Society of Professional Journalists 2015 Journalism Award, second place for business reporting, weekly newspaper, and this is for your article on J&J. There you go, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
That's excellent.
That's quite an honor, and you've only been doing this for a little while, and you're already achieving such great success. Tell us what you've been working on lately. What's this top story we have today about Popeyes finally opening?
Well, yeah, I cover Popeyes. I do some retail reporting. And the Popeyes finally opened. They were supposed to open in the middle of July, and they're really happy to be opened finally after upgrading the power supply and figuring out a place to locate the equipment right in front of the store. But it was just really great to go there and speak to the two district managers, and they told me quite a bit.
Yeah, and so we saw some of that interview. You interviewed these folks. They're actually part of a network that owns a lot of different Popeyes stores. Tell us about this network. Where are they based?
They're employed by Perique Network, which is actually a New Jersey-based multi-unit franchise operator, and they have quite a few Popeyes. They're in the top 100. They won an award with the Franchise Times. They're in the top 100 multi-unit restaurant operators, but in the country. But anyway, it's just a really beautiful. It's about 3,800 square feet.
It is big. It's very big store, right?
It has
82 seats. It seats 82,
which is above average. The 82 seats, and so it's just really spacious and roomy inside. Just a really bright environment, and it seems like it's going to be really great Popeyes. It's inviting, comfortable. I think it's going to be, of course, another warm place in the winter to come outside, go inside and warm up with the coldest months of the year approaching. And the staff there was really friendly. They're eager to serve everyone. Right now, you get 2 pieces of free chicken simply for giving feedback and telling them about your experience dining there, as you could see from my video.
Right. Now, so tell us about the location, because it's in the heart of downtown. Downtown really doesn't have a lot of what we might call fast food. It's really one of just really a couple of fast foods. It's actually right next to the other giant, which is the Burger King. So do you think that this is a good location for such a place? Is it going to do well? Is it doing well?
I think it will do well, very well. It's right next door to the comedy club.
Stress Factory.
Stress Factory.
Sure.
And I asked them about their pricing also. Took a look at the pricing a little bit. They say you can eat for about $25 for a family of 4, and they say the value is very competitive, yet not too expensive. A family meal is just under $25, about $23. They say that's for a family of 4. That includes 8 pieces of chicken plus 4 biscuits.
I gotta tell you, the biscuits are very good. There, did you have one?
I have not.
You haven't. You're just like
No.
it because it's a business story. But you're not into chicken and biscuits.
I ate their coleslaws. Excellent.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to some today.
Yeah, I wish we could have some now, but they're not open at this hour. But the new Popeyes is at 375 George Street, and you can read all about it on NewBrunswickToday.com. Dave, you also have a couple other stories up there. You want to tell people about what's going on with Comcast and how they might be offering cell phone service here in New Jersey next year?
Before we get to that, I wanted to mention so I get Google alerts since I cover Popeyes, and
Sure.
I thought this story from the Nation's Restaurant News was interesting, that they say executives at some large U.S. restaurant chains, including Popeyes and Yum Brands and Wendy's, they've all cited election uncertainty in an effort to explain why consumers are spending less. So it'll be interesting to see if the election uncertainty affects the Hub City business at the Hub City Popeyes at all. And,
Interesting. So people might be spending less than normal because they're not sure how things are going to turn out November 8th.
And the chief financial officer of Popeyes, William Matt, they quote him as saying, what we also see is that there is a little more uncertainty with the consumer. We're not sure what's causing that, but our speculation would be we think there is a rather unusual election going on, and we think that unusual election is causing some uncertainty. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't think it will hurt the Popeye. Now, of course, when a new business opens, it's very busy.
Right. We'll see if they can keep that up. Do you have any idea of how many employees they have, or?
They have 35 to 40, about 40 employees right now, and they say they are always hiring the right people. In fact, during my interview, there was a woman sitting right next to me filling out an application. And what's interesting to me is also they were able to staff up using their North Brunswick restaurant.
Yes, they've had a location in North Brunswick for quite some time. No
It's
longer
on
do
Milltown
folks have to
Road.
leave the hub city to get Popeyes.
Right, and they advertised. They said they made use of a billboard. I think it's going to do great. The restaurant.
Cool. Well, you cannot find a better report on Popeyes than the stuff Dave has done. Dave's written about this for NewBrunswickToday.com as well as MyCentralJersey.com, the online home of the Home News Tribune. Thanks again for joining us. Real quick, can you just tell people about your story on Comcast and encourage them to check it out?
Yeah, my story on Comcast is supposed to be going into the cellular cell phone business mid-year. This information was released by their chief executive officer during a conference call a couple of weeks ago, and my story I included some great quotes from Jan. Can't recall his last name. He's an analyst in the telecom industry, and some people say it's not going to work.
It's an uphill battle. Others have tried it before. It's not as easy as just snapping your fingers. So we'll see. Maybe next year we can get Comcast service on our cell phones. Maybe. But definitely check out the NewBrunswickToday.com website. Dave's got a bunch more stories up there for you about Johnson & Johnson, one of their recent acquisitions, also the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau and their efforts to reform payday loans. And you've also got a story about the Wells Fargo fiasco. All of that and more at the NewBrunswickToday.com website. Just want to take this chance to encourage everyone to register to vote. There is less than 1 week left to register here in New Jersey. The deadline is actually October 18th. That's next Tuesday. So if you want to vote on November 8th, you've got to register. You can do that. We'll provide the link online. You can also get it on the county website or stop by the county building and get a form. Fill that out. Register to vote. Keep reading New Brunswick Today. Dave Schatz, thank you for joining us. Please come back again real soon and keep up the great work. And to everybody at home, keep on watching the New Brunswick Today show. We'll be back Friday with a very special guest. Comedian Pablo Francisco will be with us Friday morning, so tune in for that. And thanks to the whole crew here, Chris, Carlos, and everybody else. We'll see you next time on the New Brunswick Today show.